Welcome to today's reading. We will begin with clearing with the kyanite and the selenite wand to align the energies and elevate them so that only the messages of the highest and greatest good for the collective tuning in may come through. I've already blessed the decks or cleared them. So what does my collective need to know today? What is weighing on the minds and the hearts of the collective? What is weighing on them? What guidance do we have coming through for their thoughts? Maybe what's sitting in the subconscious, constantly brewing, What do we have there? Okay. Card of Sovereignty, number 32, which breaks to a 5. Which is a symbol of unity within self, the balance of the masculine, feminine archetype, the assertive, receptive. Owning what is yours. Knowing it to be true. Knowing it to be true. Okay. So what do we have for the more receptive aspects here? It could be highlighted by the higher self, the ancestors, the guardians, guides, angels. What is being highlighted for the receptive aspect here for you guys? Page of Cups. You're opening to the concept of play and fun, of approaching whatever's before you with a childlike mind, a beginner's mind, an innocence to it. Okay. And then for the higher self, guardians, guides, spirit team, what is the challenge or more of the assertive energy that they would like you to be aware of in this aspect of what's weighing on the mind? The 9 of Wands. What are you defensive to? What are you protecting? What are you actively observing? Now, because this deck, it does still surprise me. It does. It does. I'm going to make sure that any syncs that are present will come out for you guys. So, in the upright, it speaks of loyalty and discipline. Ooh. So, it's not so much this act of, aggression or defensiveness. Offense, defense. It's more of a, what are you choosing to actively give to? Are you being loyal to this sovereignty within yourself? How much discipline are you putting into maintaining loyalty to yourself? To this sovereignty, this keeping that space where you can embrace that playful, fun aspect within yourself. Protecting your inner child. Enough that the inner child can come out to play. Because it's the inner child that sees the magic in life. Fresh eyes, anew. When you're that young, you believe in Santa. You believe in the Easter Bunny. Magic is real. As an adult, to begin to fall into belief or raise into belief in magic is a beautiful thing. Magic is pretty much, there are contracts that we have depending on where we're from the, on culturally, in our backgrounds. Magic can simply be something as, simple as a different word in another culture as it is to this culture. To me, it's seeing the divine in action in your life. Having those synchronicities come back to you, having that in your face, kind of conversation, if you will, with divine, and you're living it. That's the essence of magic to me. The awareness that there is an intelligence that is unfathomable, but you're aware that you're interacting with it, that there is some kind of order, some kind of plan, if you will. Like, they say that the Lord works in mysterious ways. Yeah, we may not understand, but we can sense it. Something beautiful is at play. Something that is of love is at play. So can we have the next layer down of synchronicities in the collective for this, in the receptive? Really around that playful inner child, the Page of Cups. Okay, so we have the Four of Wands in the upright. That's good. It's another sync for the play. Did you see how that card did like acrobatics there? So that page is there because you have the foundation to be able to be at play. And there is two individuals here, but it's the impression that this space is inviting for energy to come in. Yet again, a mirroring here. It's because these two forms are feminine, it's receptive energy, but that does not mean that there is not a balance within the Four of Wands, because it would not be present if there wasn't, a masculine or an assertive energy present. And this concept of play and fun and co-creating and the give and take, the learning of one another, the learning of how to do that dance between the receptive energy within the other person as well as the assertive energy, and how that interacts with your own balance within yourself, creating a mix and a presentation, a view, a love that is unique in each cup pertaining to this connection, because how you view yourself is going to be different than how others view you. How you feel about yourself is going to be different as well, in the same way, and vice versa. How they love themselves is going to be, like, how they view that is going to be different than how you love them and how you view them. And that's where these mixings come in. But it is something that speaks to that balance within yourself first, and then you can apply that to your home life. You can apply that to your friendships, your working relationships, the romantic relationships in your life. So do take whatever resonates and leave whatever does not. If it does not resonate for you, then it's not for you. If you want to continue listening and see if more synchronizes for you, or you notice a couple things don't, but a couple things do, it can give you insight. It can give you food for thought. It can give you questions to answer. And maybe there will be a sync. You just don't know about it till later. You're like, oh, that's what that meant. But yeah, it's if it resonates, it resonates. So What syncs do we have here around this discipline and loyalty to maintaining this space and keeping that sovereignty in place? That was interesting. I was apparently not meant to grab those. Typically when they fall, I immediately grab them, but that was interesting. Okay. So, what do we have here? Okay, so we have Karma inverted. It's a major arcana. Speaks typically to like fulfilling of contracts, fated events, alignments in your life, part of this divine plan, if you will, that higher intelligence at play. This has been a healing journey, a healing experience, and you've upgraded. You've upgraded from sticks to swords. And you have done that through sheer willpower with this yellow dress as a sync. With that, a symbol. And that higher power, it's just validating with the high priest. You know, in older decks, I think this would have been the Pope. And the balance of the light and dark, the shadow and the light. You've done your shadow work. You've worked with your subconscious, with your thoughts. You've been mindful. This karma is dependent upon you maintaining the space, this loyalty and this discipline with yourself of maintaining these boundaries within yourself and within how you nurture your inner child. But I do want to grab a couple on this inverted karma. Do we have another layer down of insight into this karma here? Okay, so passionate movement forward. Life was not greener on the other side. A lot of thought. Could also be that where an energy is, like where you were or where they were, was very they were not happy, and they definitely can tell that life is greener on the other side, and you are that other side. An action, a movement towards this space is the other side, is the green side. Okay, we have a Knight and a King of Wands. This is definitely a manifested thing. So, okay, Spirit is Spirit, Divine. My spirit team, Divine and my spirit team, like they basically, for those that tune in, it's like my spirit team communicates with your guys' spirit team, and they let me know some things that need to be said. So that's the very essence of being a channel. So this is telling me that this is karma coming in. It's coming in. It's because it's inverted, it's telling me you need to pay a little more attention to this. What is this really? It's not just a fulfilling of a contract. This is coming in because it's willed to be come in by assertive energy within yourself. And it's probably got something to do with this concept of there being an outside energy that you're co-creating with. Outside being, a partnership, a friendship, relationship, a family member, not just inside of self. This is speaking to an energy that it is fated, that is masculine in nature, energetically, not gender, energetically. This is willed. This is manifested. This is what they want. So your karma's coming in. And being that this karma card is also a number 20, it's just reaffirming that. So I'm gonna clear this space up a little bit here. Oh, that's cute. Okay. Okay. So what does the collective need to know about the heart space, the emotional side, the intuitive aspect? Okay. Psyche. All these new beginnings. And all those beautiful butterflies. Some of them are bigger, some of them are smaller. They're different colors, and that means they have possibly different predominant energies of direction. Blue is going to be more communication. Orange, yellow, red is going to be lower chakra. Ooh. Okay, Spirit. Okay, so you have both, like, you're bringing in both worlds here. In your intuitive emotional space, you are working on manifesting things not only in your 3D experience, but also in your emotional, intuitive, higher level, spiritual, 5D, in other words, experience. So we have the Five of Wands in the upright. So the Five of Wands is a challenge that is about balance, yes, but it is your free will to overcome this. It's possibly presenting itself to you in your reality as a 10 of Swords, but, okay, I don't know why, but they wanted me to grab another one. We also have the Queen of Pentacles. Okay. But it's actually a Five of Wands. It's not a 10 of Swords. It's not the end. It's not a beginning. This is something that you will constantly be possibly reminding yourself of that. There's a concept in Buddhist philosophy about how to really work with what challenges you, like to sit and eat with your enemy, right? So what do you fear? If you avoid what you fear, you won't understand it. And if you don't understand it, you will not be able to heal it, alchemize it, or overcome it. So this constant, what is challenging my balance? What is wanting me to possibly give to this is the end or a new beginning, when really it's just, maybe if I had a little change in my routine, or if I was, took a couple minutes here just now to be mindful and sit and communicate with this doubt or this fear in the essence of observing it, looking at it, understanding it, and deciding whether or not you want to give to it or not. And if you do want to give to it, how? Do you want to give transformation to it? Or do you want to straight up reject it altogether and replace it with something else? Do you want to acknowledge it and heal it and let it be transformed? This is your abundance. This is how you work with energy. In the physical, this is how you become capable of pulling in the manifestations from the higher spiritual realms into the physical experience. This is how you manifest, through working within yourself. Okay, so this is pulling in how these blue butterflies, they're not separate, from these monarch butterflies. So these colors are of like the crown, the third eye, the throat, and the heart. And then you have the colors of the solar plexus, the sacral, and the root chakra. The heart is the center point, which makes somewhat of a sense as this orb is kind of placed, in that general region, but it's definitely lower than the heart. It's more over the solar plexus. So this is about your manifestations coming into the physical. This is what you are receptive to. It's also letting me know that this is something you understand how to do. This is something that has allowed you to be in this state of awareness of your sovereignty, that you have owned your own personal power in this physical reality to the extent to which you're loyal to yourself. Enough to create that safe space for your inner child as an adult to believe in magic, to see the wonder, to observe the divine at play, and like at play in your life, at play in the little things around you. There's also a direction here, a purpose with these manifestations. You feel somewhat of a responsibility to yourself to understand and learn yourself as to why you have these specific desired manifestations and what they're meant to be for you and show you and give you of yourself. So what do we have here in the assertive? It's being highlighted. We have the Four of Cups in the inverted. And since we did 2, we have the Six of Wands in the upright. Now the Six of the Wands, it feels like it's quite a bit more charged. Now I am going to just make sure that you guys get these things, as I said with this deck, because it does surprise me. And you know what? I like that. I do. I like that. That tells me that there's a little bit more of an energy or a presence or a it's got a lot more of like a masculine side to it. A little more of a mystery. For me personally. And that's why they have this guidebook here for me to work with. So in the reverse of the Four of Cups, we have boredom and isolation. Oh boy. So it's definitely like a bit of a hanged man aspect with the emotional side, the intuitive aspect. So, this came out in a reading earlier as well. So that's, it might be, I'm not sure which one. It was probably, excuse me. Excuse me. Okay. Yeah, it might be in a reading that was earlier. Probably in the last couple, one of the last 2 ones, probably. So the Six of Wands in the upright is a little more charged. And the Sinks are victory and desire fulfilled. Okay. I mean, you can kind of get that. It's kind of like, you know, like the bodybuilder doing like the arm posing and like, you know, all of that. The Six of Wands, it typically is, you know, someone or something that felt like there was no way that this, like, it was done, it was over, it would not succeed. It's been victorious. And there is quite a bit of masculine energy here with this form. It's also the need to be acknowledged. Like emotionally, intuitively, there's a bit of just kind of hanging out. Oh, okay. So, like here, this is what the receptive aspect within you and possibly, you know, how it's reflected back to you. There's this constant challenge on this side in the receptive aspect of sitting with that part of you. Your doubts, your fears, and understanding them. And keeping it from allowing you to believe that it's a Ten of Swords, that it's the end, or the end of something to be a beginning in something else. Like keeping it in this Five of Wands space. And this Four of Cups is the more assertive energy aspect within you as well, that is a little like bored with the emotional stagnation, almost. It's almost a stagnant, like, okay, I'm holding it together, and I'm just still holding it together, and just hanging out and holding it together. and keeping this emotional calm, almost a stoic aspect to any kind of anything that would like to rock your boat emotionally, being able to observe it from a state of, okay, so this is what's happening. All right, well, what happens next? I'm not going to react to this right now because I know it's going to evolve. And that's what allows it to stay in this, to move into the state of victory, because you're victorious in bringing your manifestations that you have been working on in the higher aspect down into the physical. Okay, I don't think we need any syncs with that, but let's see if we can do another layer down, see if they have anything for you guys. See if they got anything there for you. Well, okay then. 9 of Wands in the upright. So it's definitely connected. Let's grab one more here. Okay. And the Lovers. And because that's major arcana, it could go right back to the upright. This is definitely highlighting that this very well may be part of a relationship dynamic, but it being in the inverted and this sovereignty coming out, it is empowering you to work with you first and your focus before you get, oh, there's somebody else here. You know, like you have to stay good with you. Be sovereign within self. It's like that thing that people say, the whole, you know, you got to love yourself before you can love somebody else. You know, that's great and it's awesome to say, but it's not really an instruction manual on how to get from point A to point B. And that begins with, you know, getting to know yourself so you can accept yourself. Oh, okay, you know, like this is a part of me. Okay, well, now what do I want to do with it? Because it's accepting that, okay, that's the situation. Now that I've accepted it, I can change it. I can choose how I want to work with it. I can alter it if I choose to. But that is within yourself. Speaking of the sovereignty within self. Okay. We have another layer down of synchronicities here for, ooh, the Emperor. That is okay, and yeah, very muchly an assertive aspect. You have a balanced, assertive energy present within yourself, working with you, possibly from the outside of yourself or mirroring outside of you what your balance internally is in this assertive masculine energy. All right, what's coming through is you have an assertive masculine energy coming into your life, into acting towards this manifestation, co-creating it with you, because it's time to act. They've been observing and watching, and there may be like a slow progressive movement, but it's because this matters so much to them too, that they're going to take their time because they want to make sure that whatever this ends up moving towards as it progresses in the physical reality, they've taken the time and you've taken the time to be sure you're actually ready to take the next step and the next step and the next step and the next step. They're making sure. They're protective of this. They're protective of you. Now, this is going to be present within yourself as well, but it's definitely something that's coming in. The connection was made more in the spiritual, more in the higher realms, the higher aspect, the intuitive aspect. It's what's being highlighted here in this reading. So what do we need to know about the physical for the collective, guys? What's the spirit team's divine ancestors, angels, what would you guys like to highlight for the collective here? Okay, now clear these up a bit. And I chose this background today because I was guided to have that back and forth visual aspect of nothing in this world is completely one thing or the other. It's always more complicated than that. Okay, in the physical, it's 5. It's tying back here with sovereignty. Also, the message that I had here of it being of 2 worlds. The Selkie, this is the same person. When she puts on her Selkie skin, she turns into the Selkie. When she takes off the Selkie fur or skin, she becomes a woman. So it's being of both worlds. Working and alchemizing with both worlds. Never being completely of one. Really a stormy emotional aspect. Possibly a bit of inner conflict. Okay. In the physical, we have Page of Swords. So you're receptive to the truth of this. You are, you've done the whole, you've been working with the mindfulness aspect of this. You want to understand the truth of yourself. With knowledge comes power. So when you understand yourself, you're able to have more ability to move in the world, create with the world, interact with the world from a more self-assured and informed state of being. Oh boy, okay. They really wanted those to come out, guys. I really wanted those to come out. Okay. So we got 3 here. Okay, and because they did, I tried to keep them in the deck, I'm going to interpret them both in the upright and the inverted for you guys. So this is going to be kind of the center stage here for this for right now. They had a lot come out. This assertive masculine aspect of yourself was very, very strongly present throughout this. And it's definitely something that's coming in and being reflected back to you. So we have the 9 of Cups in the upright here. Whew. And the 9 of Spheres and the 3 of Swords. Ooh. 993. Definitely another aspect to manifesting here. All right, so let's start with Cups. Contentment, self-satisfaction in the upright. In the inverted, it's arrogance and selfishness. The balance, the protectiveness, the sitting with your doubts, sitting with your fears, answering those questions of, am I really content? Do I feel satisfied with my life? Do I feel satisfied with this, anything that's coming into your physical that you're currently experiencing? Are you satisfied with it? Or are you being arrogant or selfish in some way, shape, or form with whatever's, coming to you in that moment? When you have a fear or a doubt, like, okay, am I being selfish in this? Am I? Or am I being arrogant or boastful? And if the answer to that is no and no, well, then it's probably in the upright for you. Then it's, it's highlighting, okay, well, are you content with this energy, this aspect, this decision? Are you content with your conclusion about it? Allowing it to drop from a 10 of Swords energy to a 5 of Wands. If you are, content with how you sat with that doubt and that fear and that you see it, it's no longer the end of anything. It's just you maintaining your balance and bringing what you desire into your physical reality with this Queen of Pentacles. Now, the 9 of Spheres is the 9 of Pentacles in this deck. In the upright, it's financial independence and empowerment. In the reversed, it's egotism and pride. So this is very muchly about maintaining that mindful work with your thoughts and your emotions to stay in tune with your ego, to help your ego help you to stay balanced. Your ego is not necessarily like your enemy. Your ego is going to be very informative about what's going on inside of you, which in many ways, your ego is this experience, this what is that in front of her, right? In many ways, that is your ego. It's the befriending of the ego. Because when you do that, it takes what would be a 10 of Swords and makes it a 5 of Wands. They are both a free will. They're not major arcana. You decide if it's a 10 of Swords. But you can only make that decision if you do the mindfulness work of being aware of what's going on in your mind and your thoughts and how that interacts with your emotions and vice versa. Because if it's in the reverse, you're not sitting necessarily with those thoughts or those emotions to understand what's going on. So they end up having the deciding factors because you're not putting in your 2 cents by being aware of it fully. And that's completely human to avoid things that we find uncomfortable, parts of us that we don't enjoy experiencing, thoughts or emotions that are triggered in us. It's completely natural and normal to not want to spend time there, to be aware of it, to work with it. However, for the collective tuning in, this is work you've been doing and you understand this. Your mindfulness muscle is strong. You've been working it out. So you understand that by sitting with your ego, you are allowing it to not be an ending, but allowing it to be something that you can decide to balance. And this is almost like a reminder, or congratulations, you have done this. Congratulations, you have done this. You are continuing to do this, and you understand that it is a constant balance. And you are constantly doing it, almost to the point where you don't have to put so much energy into it. Because they're both like an elevation, a rising, a shining. Deeply rooted. Definitely another reason to know that it has to do with the subconscious. And the 3 of Swords. Which, the 3 of Swords is, oof, that is a being that is cut right down the middle, and their center of power, their solar plexus chakra is just lit up. Ouch. Okay, so it's a being, yet again, of 2 worlds. There's going to be somewhat of a dissonance, a pain, being aware of both worlds. But how do you balance that? Which is where the mindfulness and the awareness of that and owning your sovereignty, your loyalty to yourself will help this 3 of Wands, this hurt, this pain, that you will sometimes experience, because sometimes these worlds are going to be out of, not necessarily out of alignment, but in one aspect, you're experiencing possibly, a challenge in your physical world, but in the spiritual aspect, everything tells you and everything you're doing says that you're in alignment for the exact opposite of what you're experiencing right now. So there can be a bit of a conflict emotionally with that experience. Okay, so in the upright, it speaks to sorrow and cognitive dissonance. Okay. There you go. And that's something okay. I haven't read this one in quite some time, but it does help me to know that I am learning the deck, which is good. I'm getting more in tune with this, which we are all somewhere on a journey. we're all learning, we're all evolving and growing. So this is just letting you know that, oh, you know, I'm human too. And I'm humbled by this. I am completely humbled by this. The reverse is self-pity and anxiety. So this work, this subconscious mindfulness work, this being with that part of yourself is necessary because you're going to be channeling, working with different aspects of yourself. And by channeling, like whenever you, so you have a memory that comes to light for you, and it's a little more emotionally charged, or, you know, maybe it's something that's like really positive actually, but it's about somebody who's passed away, like, you know, a family member you were really close to. So in reliving that memory, you're connecting to those emotions, and they're this contradiction of positive and, you know, negative, and the longing to live that again, and to, you know, all of that will be coming through you while you're moving through your life. And the collective tuning in here, you guys are going to be a little more tapped in, a little more intuitive, a little more aware. So you're going to be getting more than just the surface level. You're going to be possibly feeling it in your body as you're reliving this. So that pain, that longing, that joy, that awareness, though logically, that this person has passed on, that you're not living this currently, that you miss them, that you remember them fondly, that contradiction is why this mindfulness is necessary, is why this practice of working with the subconscious is so important, because it really allows you to empower yourself to be able to keep your balance while you move through life with this sensitivity, with this awareness, with this ability to tap into that. And those were just examples. There's so many other ways that this can apply to so many individuals. That's just an example. And it's probably an example that came to mind for me for a reason. And it has to do with my spirit team and the collective's spirit teams. They're wanting to help you have a validation in the physical, because there may be somewhat of a dissonance at this time. And I'm happy to be that channel for that. I'm very grateful and humbled to be that. The other thing too, that they continually are reminding me of this. I don't have the link under the description, but I do have it in the about for the channel. I do have some teachings as well as 5 free meditations to work with the subconscious. Guided, 5 3 guided meditations. And they work around the elements, because anywhere you go in this world, you can find air. You can go outside to touch the earth, touch the ground. You could stomp your feet to be aware that you are on this planet. You can go wash your hands and connect with water. The lights in your space, the heating in the environment, even your own body heat, a candle light, all sources of fire for you to connect to in a more physical way to help you ground in and work with that subconscious. So they definitely wanted me to let you guys know that, because that may be of help. But I mean, whatever works for you guys, as I imagine that you guys all have your own ways of working with this already. So congratulations. Like this is a hell of a balance that you are working with, having had achieved, getting acknowledged for, or you are in the process of this. Do we have any overarching messages here for the collective? To kind of summarize. I'm not really quite sure why I grabbed this deck. I would typically grab another one, but I guess there's something here. Ooh. What a beautiful card. Number 30. Trust that the Trinity is with you. Father, Son, Holy Ghost, Maiden, Mother, Crone. The divine, the receptive, and the assertive aspect within the divine is within you. You are supported. And you are supported in knowing that this is what the flow is. The flow is being aware of being in both worlds, understanding the challenges, the dynamic within them, sitting with that mindfully and deciding how you want to frame it so that it's not a Ten of Swords, but a Five of Wands. And you bring that then into your reality as something that you can work with in flow. Instead of it's the end and a new beginning, until you can, you know, continually, it's like you've been going through Ten of Swords, Ten of Swords, Ten of Swords. All right, we're going to try again, try again, try again. But you've got the flow of it now. You've got the flow. You're continually changing, alchemizing a Ten of Swords into a Five of Wands. You're continually doing that because of that sovereignty, working with the ego, providing that safe space for your inner child to be able to play, which is required for manifestation because you have to believe in the magic, just like the inner child does. Okay. We'll get one more here. One. Woo. Okay, that's like more than one. Okay. A lot more. These ones like to stick to each other, so. All right. Ooh. Okay, number 6. So this is a number synchronicity with the Lover's card. We did have the Lovers come out here. So this may have to definitely do with a connection, a romantic connection of some kind, shape, or form. Trusting the tricksters. The trickster's only power is your trust. You're always free to withdraw it. So you may encounter foxes, people that appear to be one way, but really there's some interesting, fascinating mix of two ways. Foxes have canine attributes as well as feline attributes, which is why they are such a potent symbol for trickster energy. It's in how they grab their prey and how they move. But you decide how much power they have. You decide whether or not you believe them. You decide if this trickster energy, which, you know, I'm going to label that as, you know, the energies that have come through already. Like, are you going to allow it to be a Ten of Swords, or is it going to be a Five of Wands? You decide that. It doesn't mean that the fox is bad. It doesn't mean that the trickster itself is bad or malicious. In other words, that its purpose is to trick you and to pull the wool over your eyes. The trickster energy or aspect to this dynamic, it's a teacher, yes, because it challenges you to sit with it and understand what it is, to change it from, you know, the Ten of Swords to the Five of Wands. But it may also just really long to be understood, seen. I would say that this is probably the ego, the subconscious, the shadow side of yourself would be the trickster. You decide. Remind yourself that. This is not your enemy. This is your friend. And this is your teacher. You have control. You set the boundary. You are sovereign. You choose to understand this part of yourself, to alchemize it, to be mindful. And in this Page of Swords here, you know the truth. You know the truth. You've studied it. You continue to study it. And that has brought in victory. Victory and Queen of Swords. Victory and Queen of Swords. This is your physical manifestation. This is what has happened here. So congratulations, and I'm so excited for you guys. All right, this will be the reading then. So the divine within me honors the divine within you. Namaste.